Hello, everybody.
Hello.
Hi. Hello. Hello, world. We'll give you guys a second to get all set up. And send us a message if you see us, if you're watching us, let us know where in the country you're watching from. Would love to see your comments and all that. And also, before we get started, if you would we'd love for you to go and grab a piece of paper and your favorite pen or pencil, because we're going to have you write a few things down and do a couple of exercises coming up. So we're so excited to see all of you, and we'll give you a little bit more time. So grab a paper and pencil or pen. I see we've got someone from El Paso, Illinois. We've got Fox River Grove, Illinois, with Stephanie and her mom. Hi, Stephanie's mom, and another Stephanie also. For those of you, Jason, you mentioned you're watching from work. If you need to go, this will be online after, so you can keep watching. Evanston, Naperville. I'm coming to you from New York City. If you hear sirens in the background, everything's fine. Those are just the sounds of New York. And we've got Sue coming to us from Illinois as well. We have Wheaton, Vernon Hills. Who's typing his pathways? Somebody's typing his pathways and it's not us. So just in case you haven't noticed, this is our first time doing this, and we're going to just ask for your flexibility in this and roll with the punches. You guys have been doing that all week, or the last couple of weeks, and we are super excited to be doing this, and we figured we'll give it a shot. We'll see how it goes, and hopefully you guys will love it, and we can continue to do things like this in the future and help us all get through this. So oh, I see we've got Nasil from Seattle. All right, we got West Coast, East Coast. Anybody in Europe? Probably not. Great, so if you're just tuning in, welcome. Please grab a pen and some paper, because we're gonna have you do some exercises that will require those. If you get cut off or whatever, we will be airing this so you can watch it later if you need to, but we love that it's live. We love that you're all here and able to participate, and we can really make this a two-way conversation. For those of you new to Facebook Live, it is a really awesome platform. Sort of imagine it like a TV broadcast. We can't see you, so if you haven't put on pants today, good for you. We won't reveal whether we're wearing pants or not, but I think we both are. So I'm not going to speak for Sue, though. So I will be acting as sort of a moderator host for all of you. And if you are typing, if you have questions or concerns or comments that you want to share, then go ahead and put those in the chat box like you guys are doing right now, and saying where you're from. And we will answer those, or I'll ask them to Sue and give her a chance to answer those, because let's be honest, you don't really want to hear from me. So yeah, let's get started. Hi, Amanda. Amanda's joining us too. What a weird role reversal. Amanda's listening to me talk for once. So for those of you who are familiar with Pathways, welcome. For those of you who are totally new, don't worry about it. This is new territory for all of us, and we're really gonna start from scratch. My name is Turin. I am a grad of Pathways. I think I went to Basic about 7 years ago, and have since done all of the classes that they offer. And I also am a creative director and work with them on some of their social media and some of the ways they're adapting the work they're doing right now, taking some of the lessons that we've already learned and adapting them to other ways that we can reach out and communicate with all of you. So I'm happy to be the voice for all of you and ask whatever questions you have as we go forward. And while Sue introduces herself and we chat, if you have any questions, and I've got a stack right here of questions that have been submitted already and questions and concerns people have right now looking for support. So if you have any questions, feel free to post them into the chat right there, and I will add those and ask them to Sue as well. So we really want this to be interactive and participatory and feel like you're getting what you need out of this next 55 minutes. So Sue is one of the co-founders of Pathways, and for those of you who aren't familiar, Pathways does an amazing set of programming. They have been doing this for over 35 years, and over 40,000 people, 45,000 people, 45,000 people have gone through the seminars all over, and it's really an incredible program. And a lot of our grads in the community had said, hey, we're feeling really isolated right now. We would love to hear from you, and feel like we've got that connection, and maybe revisit some of the tools that we've learned. And we heard that and we were like, amazing idea, but let's not limit it just to people who have already been through Pathways. Let's open it up to anybody, because we're all needing to come together right now. So Sue, I will let you introduce yourself and chat, and then we can start taking some questions and going through everything.
I think you did a great job of introducing me.
Thanks.
So my name's Sue Page, and I've been doing this work for 35 years, supporting people and creating more of what they want in their lives, and sort of dealing with whatever life gives to us. So the lemonade stand, we are here with our lemonade. We're going to make lemonade out of lemons. You know, we can't always be in control of what life offers us, and our world has been pretty, I'd say, divisive over the last few years. And whether it's people fighting, countries fighting, arguing who's right, who's wrong. And I think what's happening right now is this pandemic is going to bring us all together to work as a team, one world. We have so many opportunities in how we look at this. We can look at it and deal with our fear and sit in our fear, in our discomfort, in confusion, in anger about everything that, say, the government is telling us to do. We can say, okay, so if we're working together, you know, I have a lung condition that I've had most of my life. And so for me, just like for the doctors and the nurses saying, please stay home, so that we could slow this down a little bit in order for everybody to be taken care of that needs to be taken care of. It's like we all need to work together now. It isn't just us against them, it's all of us against this disease, which is, you know, different than us being against a country. You know, we can't do that anymore. We've got to learn how to work as one giant team together in order to beat this. And beating it can look different in many different ways. But bottom line, one of the tenets in the program is where we look at our intentions, internal intentions, how we act, you know, our behavior, our feelings, our words, and our thoughts, and how those things create a result. We can't change the fact that we have this epidemic. We can't change that. It's here and it's rampant. And so what we can do is say, okay, so how do I best use my thoughts, my feelings, and my behavior to make something great happen from this? Because that's all we can do. That's what we're responsible for, is doing that. Because we can't take it away, just like other things in life. You know, sometimes people die and we can't take that away, but we have to learn how to be responsible with it and create a different type of result within ourselves. So that's what we're looking for here, is how do we create those results and do something different with what we're being handed. You know, I would say that that's the biggest thing that we can do right now. And I know a lot of you have different questions, and I think I'd like to open that up because I'm really the type of teacher that wants to deal with what's so for you, so that we could figure out how to do some stuff differently. And then at the end, I will do an exercise that'll help you to deal with all those feelings and stuff that you've got going on inside that need to change for you to be okay, for you to be okay, not for our country to be okay. But when you're okay, then you bring that okayness to your family, the people you love. And there's lots of things you can be doing right now to make your life better in this circumstance. And so that's really what I want to talk about. But I'm going to let you ask questions. I know that Taryn already has some, so
Yeah.
let's start there.
Okay, great. So I will start with questions that we've gotten already, but again, in the chat, in the comments, go ahead and ask your questions, and I'm happy to ask those as well, since there are many of you out there right now who are watching and probably have your own things coming up for you right now, or concerns that you have, and want to get some support in figuring out how to work with those. So here's our first question, and it is about what, we have a lot of big decisions that people are making on their own and in their households and as they're working. And the question is, what if my spouse and I can't agree on a safety plan for our family?
That's a difficult one, and that's a lot of what is happening right now, is we can't find a win-win. And the most important thing when you are working with your spouse and to create sort of a plan that can work for both of you is you have to go under what you want to what are the feelings behind that. I'm going to give an example that's kind of crazy in this time, but my husband wanted to have more children, and I already had 3 children, so I wasn't sure I wanted to have another child. And under that, we had a lot of feelings going on. And so that's where you have to get to when you're making any kind of decision where you're both going to win. Because if one of the two of you compromise, then what happens is there's resentment and anger that's built up, and you carry that into your relationship. And so you have to find a way where you both can feel resolved in whatever choice you're going to make. So we sat down with this decision about having a child and decided, why is it that what was so important for him to be having a child, because he really, really wanted one, and what was so important to me to not have a child? What were all the feelings and thoughts behind that? And so when we sat down, we discovered that for me, I already had 3 children, and I didn't want to go back home after I just started this business and become an at-home mom again. And he had never had a child, and he was so excited about the thought of being able to be every day with his son or his child. We didn't know what.
Spoiler alert, it's a boy.
We did have a baby. I didn't mind having the baby, carrying the baby, and breastfeeding the baby and doing things like that. I just didn't want to give up everything that I had just worked for, where my youngest at that time was 5. And so she was pretty self-sufficient at that point, as a 5-year-old is. And so we were able to come to that resolution where we absolutely could have a child, and he would be the mom, caretaker role, and I would back off from that. And I have to tell you, it turned out so amazing. He has now passed away. but he got that gift and he was the most amazing dad. And it was wonderful for me to watch what he created with his son. And today I'm watching that same son turn around and create that with his son, which is just so amazing for me. So I know you can find a way where the two of you, what is most important? The most important thing is your family. And that's what you have to decide. It is most important that we find something that we can agree on so that together we can make it through this and we're not angry with each other, but that we're working together as a team. It's no different than our worlds right now. We've got to learn how to work together. And the win-win is finding the emotion beneath what it is you want. So go there and find out if there's a place, a common place that you two can agree that you want to give to each other, because it has to be a giving that you can do. Does that make
Well,
sense?
it's not my question, but I'm sure it makes total sense. And I think that's really helpful and can be applied not just between spouses, but you know, talking to family members and deciding what social distancing looks like to various family members, or
Right.
you know, my parents are abroad right now, and having conversations with them about, you know, should they come back, should they stay where they are, and those sorts of things. I think we can all look at what's going on in our lives and look at what those underlying feelings are, and see them. Yeah, that's really helpful.
Great.
Yeah. So I've got a question from Coco.
Okay.
She lives far away from her family and her adult son, and she's experiencing anxiety and wants to know, how do I deal with that anxiety? And that's a really common thread in a lot of the questions we got before, is just the heightened anxiety right now, and you know, how do we deal with that?
And so, Coco, my question to you would be, what is it that you want to create with them? Obviously, you're not going to be able to, well, maybe you could bring them all together, but I think that that's going to be something that a lot of people are experiencing right now that you're not able to do. So what can you do to keep that closeness in the relationship and stay with each other, like this Zoom or FaceTime or Facebook Live or things like that, where you can keep on top of each other and know what's going on for each other? I know that my children and I can't be near my children because I have bad lungs, so I can't be near my children. So I have to take care of myself. And the best way is for me to isolate. But in that isolation, I can do stuff like this, where we're talking every day and I'm checking in on them. They're checking in on me, and we're able to see each other. And to me, I have 4 kids, and all 4 kids get on a Zoom call like this, and we talk every day and see how each other is and what are the emotions going on for each of us, because maybe we can't be right there and do it. We can't talk to each other in the moment. We can't touch each other, but I can touch them here on something like this and find out, what are you really feeling right now? What's scaring you? How are you coping with it? I mean, the other day we talked about, if something happened to me, exactly what they would need to do, because from just looking at Italy, if something happens, they may not be able to be with me and I pass, or something like that, you know? And so, or, I mean, I saw that they were announcing the deaths in the paper, but you can't be at a funeral, or maybe, I don't know if they're holding funerals later. I don't know. But I said, you know, we need to talk about that as a family, about what we're going to do if something did happen. So we're not avoiding the tough questions. And I know I may never be able to touch my grandchildren again if something would happen, or they touch me, but every single day I can talk to them and I can see how they're doing. And one of the things that someone suggested that I thought was just an awesome suggestion is to sit down and write letters. So that's creating closeness with family. The anxiety, we're going to do a little process later, but if you live in the anxiety, that's what you're going to keep creating around you versus saying, I can't do anything about this. So how do I handle that anxiety for myself? Some of it is meditation. Some of it is looking around and saying, what do I need to do? Because anxiety comes from not being able to control what's happening. And we can't control that. All we can control is ourselves. So with the anxiety, we can do meditation. Meditation is a wonderful thing, and breath work. Should I go into all this, Taryn, or should
Up to you. I'm following your lead.
Oh, one of the things I want to tell you is anxiety is when you exacerbate it when you're breathing into the top of your lungs. So what happens is that makes the fear greater. Okay. Now, sometimes fear and excitement live in the same place. They're the same energy. But what happens is that when we're afraid of something, we're breathing very shallowly into the top of our lungs versus bringing the breath all the way down into the stomach. And using the breath in the stomach will then it bypasses the lungs and the fear aspect. And so one of the things that you want to start doing is breathing into the stomach versus the chest. And that will help with all your anxiety. Now, the other thing is to do meditation. That also is going to really help with the anxiousness that you're feeling, and talking about what it is you're anxious about, writing it down, becoming aware of what truly is your fear, and then being able to communicate that with the people that you love so they're aware. That's the biggest thing of support right now. And sometimes, I'm lucky. I'm really lucky because all my kids can handle my fear. I mean, they're great. I have great kids. And they can hear it and they can listen to it. And if I say, so I'm afraid, they're right there listening and they can share their fears too. That's the gift of sharing with the people that we love, is when I open the door and I say, I'm afraid of this, that opens the door for the people around me to also share what they're afraid of. And when we're willing to share like that and communicate like that, it makes the place safer for us because that person's now sharing in that with us. And there's nothing more important than not being alone. Because when we're alone, we make the fears bigger inside ourselves.
I think while we're on that subject and of getting support and asking for support, one of the pieces, and I see a couple of questions coming in, which are great, and I'll get to those in a second, but one of the places that I've been struggling personally and have seen in a couple of questions that came through is wanting to offer to support to people in our lives. But sometimes feeling like we're not in a place ourselves to offer support. And one of the questions that we got is, how do I deal with people in my life who are causing unnecessary drama or being extra needy in this time, when this person is trying to take care of themselves and deal with their own anxieties, how can we be there for others at the same time? And how do we set those boundaries?
That's a tough one. If it's a family member, I think that you need to teach them things that they can do to calm themselves down. They could look up online. There's so many things you can Google. We do have Mother Google these days, and she can tell us so many things that we can do to calm ourselves down. If it's not a family member, you need to be honest, and that's the hard part. We never want to hurt someone, and I think saying that up front, I don't want to hurt you, but right now, I know you're anxious, so am I. And I can't be there for you in the ways that I have been in the past. Because right now, I need to calm myself down and be there for my family. And so what other support, I would be asking the person, what other support could you get for yourself? Do you belong to a church? Do you have a therapist? Are there other places that you could go and get the kind of support that you're looking for? Because I can't deliver it right now. You know, there are times, and hopefully a lot of us don't say no when we really need to say no. And I'll go back to that airlines, and they have you put the masks on first and then put it on your kids. It's the same thing. If you're not taking care of yourself first and you're trying to take care of somebody else, then you're not really taking care of them. And it looks like we're taking care of them, but we're not. And so this is about really taking care of yourself first. And when you have that space available, being able to be there for someone that's outside of your family, because you're going to need all that energy and strength inside your family to help them get through this. And I have lots of ideas about how to do that, and we'll get to those, but be gentle and be loving and be firm that you can't do it right now. You just can't. You can't be there for everyone. Neither can I, you know?
Yeah, I think that's a really great point. And also when you were talking about that, it made me think of the idea that this is a marathon, it's not a sprint. And that we really need to pace ourselves and think for ourselves, you know, what is it that I can do to make sure that I'm taking care of myself for the long haul and not just thinking about it from day to day, or, you know,
Right.
making it from day to day.
Like it's going to be over next week.
Right.
I don't think so. I don't think so. I think we're in this, and God, I mean, there's so many benefits that can happen from this, like families coming together and truly learning how to be loving and supportive and there for each other when, for the most part, we haven't had to be around. We've got electronics that distract us. We've got work that distracts us, and here we've got nothing. So based on that, what kind of conversations do you want to have? I remember before my husband passed, we used to do what's called lock-ins, and we did it always at Thanksgiving. And we would bring the whole family together and everybody would stay there. And we would separate where 2 people made the food for the breakfast, 2 different people for lunch, 2 different people for dinner, 2 different people would clean up each of those meals. But we played games. This is in between the meal times. We played games. We talked about what we're afraid of and what's important to us and what we want to create with each other. And we told people what they meant to us. And that's kind of stuff that sort of has gone out the window for the most part. And I still carry these little notes we made. My daughter thought of it. And she made these little notes, and everyone, so my name would be on the top. And then everyone would write something about that person that really was impactful or how they saw that person. I still carry those notes so that when I have a down day, I can pull out those notes and say, hey, they see this about me. I got to see it about me, you know? So do things with your family. Learn how to love each other again and how to be with each other. And it's not necessarily going to be easy, but man, it's so worth it to have that close family. That's what we're all looking for, is to feel loved and be loved and appreciated. And so how do you do that first? You know, there's so many other things that you can do, but okay.
And Jennifer chimed in there. I guess there was also karaoke.
Ah, yes, we did karaoke. It's probably why I don't do karaoke now.
And I think as you talk, yeah, as we talk about family too, thinking of family not necessarily as our biological families, but you know, who are our families within our community or within friend groups and who's the family we choose. I know I'm in an apartment solo, but my apartment building, all of us have really come together. And I
Right.
was just thinking, it's possible to adapt that note game by having everyone put a piece of paper outside their door, and we could all walk around and write things on them and leave each other messages or something like that. So
Oh my
lots of
God, that's such
all that.
a wonderful idea. I think you should do
Watch out, people in my apartment building, it's coming.
that.
But really taking these things and in some ways, these parameters are forcing us to get creative with how we adapt them over technology or, space and time and all of that.
Mhm. I think the biggest thing when we're afraid is to really be able to look at what we're afraid of and to share that. Because then it's shared with somebody and I can let go of holding that on and being all alone in it. And it's the hard times when we're all alone in it, versus someone saying, well, have you tried doing something like this? And we learn more, we grow more, and it's a shared experience then.
Yeah. Let's talk a little bit about shared knowledge, I guess. And Becky has a question about dealing with people, and she wants to, in parentheses, say otherwise intelligent people who are insisting on spreading false information or, are spreading information that she feels is against what we're being told by, sources that are telling us what is safe and what's not safe. How do we find the common ground on different beliefs of what safety means right now? And, besides turning into a really ugly, contradictory Facebook posting war, what are some ways we can deal with that?
Okay, so my question would be, is she talking about people who are government people? Is she talking about people
No,
that are her friends?
Becky, jump in and correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm interpreting this as people who are your friends, who are spreading information that is going against the facts that you've been reading and that sort of thing.
I can just talk about, I'll start and then you can fill me in what her answer is. But
okay.
Everyone will believe what they want to believe. All we can do is voice what's true for us and what we've read and what we've said. We can't change another person's perspective, so to speak. But what we can do is share ours, and possibly that will get through the amazing amounts of information that they're getting from wherever they're getting it. But it's also asking them, where did you get that information? And, here are the best places that I've found to get that information. Doesn't mean they're wrong. It just means that's where they're getting their information. And we can't change people. So we can share our perspective and we can follow our own guidance. But we can't change others. And sometimes we want to change them, that we feel that they should come to our side of the street, and
metaphorically, but still remaining at a safe distance.
That's true. You're so cute. We can't change it. And all you can do is share your perspective and share your perspective with the people that's being shared with. Does that make sense? Did she say?
Yeah.
Is it government or friends?
No, individuals. And not just about the virus. And we got a message also earlier asking about, there are also people who are using this as an opportunity to blame people or blame certain groups or, how this happened or why this is happening and those sorts of pieces. So I think, going back to Becky's question, if they don't accept anything, how do you find the common ground? Or where do you set your boundary if you are not finding common ground?
Well, I think in taking responsibility for ourselves, going back to that intentions equals results. If my intention is to use this as an opportunity to grow, to create more of what I want in my life, so create more health, create closer relationships, create more love, more support, that's what I'm going to focus on. I'm not going to focus on blaming somebody else. I don't know that we could go back and say, okay, who created this virus? What good is that going to give anyone? Nobody. That isn't going to help us get through it. That's not going to help us cure it. None of that. And that's what we need to focus on. So focusing on blaming the president or blaming China or I've heard people blaming bats. Okay, should we get rid of all the bats in the world? I don't think so. And the blame doesn't help you. The blame really doesn't get you peace. It's only going to perpetuate the angry, upset feelings that you already have. And so what good's it doing you? That's the question you got to ask yourself. Is this taking me to peace? Is this taking me to comfort? Is this taking me to closeness? Is it taking me to love? Is it taking me to the things that I want to experience in my life, or is it taking me away? That's the question. And you have to decide for yourself.
That's so great. And I'm really looking forward to the exercise we're going to do to work on that. And we have about 23 minutes left. And a couple more questions. Do you want to share some of the ideas you have on
benefits or things that you can do?
Yeah, we're shifting and talking about really what do we want to make of this time. I think now would be a great time for you to share what your observations have been, and what we can do to really focus on that and come up with our own intentions for what's going on.
Okay. So I was thinking about this, and Trin and I were talking about it, and there's so many benefits that can come of this time if that's what we're focused on. So just dealing with ourselves. One of the benefits is being able to create definite closeness with my family, whether it's my extended family or it's my immediate family or it's my apartment mates in your condo mates. Whatever it is that you call family, it's bringing that closeness in and sort of a shared, talking with them about what I want to create is this closeness, and using this time to get to know you, and using this time to share what our fears and our hopes and our dreams are. That's an opportunity for us during this time when we are enclosed together, so to speak. Another thing would be reaching out to people that really need support. There are a lot of people out there that are alone. A friend of mine wrote that I am in this, I am alone. I am loved. I know I'm loved. I'm important to people, but ultimately I'm here in my apartment or my condo alone. And so how do you reach someone like that and let them share, because they don't have someone that they're living with that they could share with? So how do you reach people like that and reach out to people like that? And maybe she needs someone to get her groceries or other things. And as a leader, I wanna make a difference. I don't want it to be all about me. You know, they often say that if you're really messed up and having a rotten day, go help somebody else that's in, you know, a different circumstance than you, but needs help too. And so take that leadership step to help someone else during this time, you know. Another one is to reevaluate your life. So what do you want to have happen with your life? What do you want to do? What do you want to make happen? Whether it's with your relationships, it's with your life. Maybe you want to learn more skills or different skills in order to, you know, we don't know what the end of this is going to bring or how we're all going to work together or what's going to happen in the end. So using this time as best you can to learn about healthy foods or different exercises that you can do at home or but taking this time to take care of you, to do something great for you. So, because you can't go anywhere. Another one that I see is great is, or another benefit is how pollution, you know, they showed this picture on TV the other day of how pollution has done some amazing, like, gone away over the industrial areas. And then I read on, I think it was on Facebook today, that the swans and dolphins are back in the Venice canals. How cool is that? So the earth is getting a respite from everything that we've done. And it's time for us to look at the earth as well and say, hey, is there something different we could do? You know, is there something different each one of us needs to contribute to this global warming? Which some say isn't there, but.
Sorry for the sirens.
Ooh, I like it. See?
Live TV, folks.
But that's also saying, yes, listen to that global warming stuff. Refocusing on your health and learning. So those would be some of the great benefits that I see that we can do. Do you guys see any others? If you take your focus off that, oh, this is a terrible thing, what if it's a great thing? And
yeah,
it's disguised in an epidemic, but what if it's a great thing? And what if it's here to support us? You know, I've always looked at my life as one door closes, another opens. So I let go of one thing and something new comes in, and what's new is better. So I'm looking at this as this is an opportunity to open a new door. And when we open that new door, we can have something really great.
mm-hmm.
So what doors do you need to open, and shut this door? Don't focus on the blame and the fear and all of that. Start focusing on what it is that you can create for yourself during this time. And we don't know how much time, but I could get really skinny and in great shape if one of the things I wanted to do was exercise. I don't know that that's one of my goals, but
well, I'm going to hold you accountable to that one if that's what you want.
no.
Pensions equals results, right?
Yeah, honestly, one of my goals is to catch up on my sleep. I've worked really, really hard and taken so much time to be there for other people that one of the things I really want to do is rest. And I'm actually looking forward to that, is actually resting. There's nothing I can do. I can't create a lot, so I can just take some time for me. And how often do we not do that? You know, we're there for work and we're there for our kids and we're there. And so this is about taking some time for me.
Yeah. And I think that's such a great point, because there is all of this pressure. Oh, I've got all this time now to do all those things I've been putting off, or that sort of thing. And, you know, I know a lot of families are dealing with working from home or
Mhm.
stressing about what's going on. And then on top of that, having to homeschool children or have all these things going on. And, I think it's a great point that rest is also a perfectly acceptable way
Right.
to use this time. Yeah.
And with the parents, I mean, there's so many teachers that are out there also off school that are saying, let me help you, because I had 4 kids, 3 of them at home in school, but I also babysat for 2. So I always had 5 kids every day. And to figure out what I would need to do for a month to keep those kids busy would drive me crazy. But you have the internet, and there's so many teachers that say, let me help. Let me help you. Because some schools are not even sending home lesson plans. Now you can blame the school and say it's a crummy school and they're not helping us. Or you can just say, okay, so where can I get the help? Where can I get things that are different for my kids that they wouldn't learn in school, but would learn through this experience, Or art. I mean, there's so much art going on. I was watching this guy who's an artist do an art project, and kids can get on, watch him, and do the same art project. How cool is that? And our kids wouldn't have the time to do stuff like this before. So they get a different kind of learning. Teaching to clean a bathroom.
I'm learning that one for myself right now. Yep.
Yeah, right. All my mother's teachings have come into.
Yeah, I think that's all true. We're all getting these opportunities to learn in different ways, and this great pause is giving us a chance for that. And something that you had mentioned when we were talking earlier and sort of planning the session that I thought was so great was we're constantly in our lives getting obstacles thrown at us, and we often don't take that time to pause and reflect and decide how we're going to handle it. And now we have that opportunity. And I think that was just a really great point that you brought up too, that, that's an opportunity in itself, is being able to pause and decide how to handle this.
Mm-hmm. I also wrote down this quote by Napoleon Hill, and it's every adversity carries with it the seed of I can't read my own writing, a seed of an equivalent or greater benefit. It's like every adversity carries with it some learning, some greatness. And when we can let go of the things we're so afraid of, then we can start learning and seeing life differently. But it's up to us. And if we don't let go of all that stuff we're afraid of, we can't see what's coming. It's like we have a bag on our head. And so this is about taking that bag off your head and starting to look at, what is my opportunity here? What can I create with these lemons? Because you're going to keep getting lemons. So what can you create for yourself? What can you make different? What can you make happen? So that, one of the things that my oldest son did was connect my entire family, my brothers, sisters, cousins, all that. And so we're doing a Zoom call with the entire family once a month, the whole family, because they live all over. Mm-hmm. But how cool is that? That isn't something that we would do. We go, oh, okay, we'll do a family festival in, 2099 or something. And so this is just, and yet we're connected individually, but now we're going to connect on Zoom and be able to see everybody and have everybody have some time to talk about what's going on for them and what their fears are and what their excitement is. Mm-hmm. So that we can share with the whole family and help create something different.
And I think to that point also, it doesn't all have to be these big, heavy conversations, right? We also need laughter. We also need a break And, there's so
Um,
many games you can play on Zoom, right? And some fun. And, I'm hosting a talent show for my friends and family tonight on Zoom. And I think those are ways that, and the response has been great because people want to connect and they want to just take a break from all the news. So,
right.
yeah, I think there's lots of ways to connect and to do it in a really fun way. So
Mm.
we have about 10 minutes left, and I would love for you to share with us sort of the exercise that you've prepared and mini homework assignment that you have for people to help them kind of work through this. And before we do that, I want to let all of you know that this is available. It will be posted on our Facebook page, so you can watch it later if you needed to go or you're joining us. And also, we tried to get to as many questions as we could. I know there's a couple that are still out there about anxieties, and I would encourage you to do this exercise through those specific anxieties, whether it's what's coming up for you that you've experienced through PTSD, or things that are coming up for you that have just been brought up during this time, and fears that you have. And also to let you know that we are going to be doing another of the Lemonade sessions on Monday at noon Central Time, 1 Eastern, 10 Pacific, with Amanda. And that is going to be great. And so we'll also be able to incorporate questions and concerns and things that you have there. And we'll make this available to you. And then one other plug, and I will put it in the comments. We have a form for you if you are curious, either if you want to work one-on-one with Sue and do some coaching, or she's going to be doing some group coaching classes through Zoom as well to kind of help you through if you feel like you need a little bit more individual time and attention. You can sign up for more information there. If you're curious about attending basic, whenever that happens, whenever we're back on track and doing things, you can also fill out the same form. If you have feedback for us, we would love it, because we want to make this as helpful for you as possible and make sure that you're getting the support you need. So really encourage you. The form, if you would like to fill it out, I will tell you, but I will also put it in the comments, is bit.ly/lemonade feedback. And I know Beyonce did not take lemonade feedback. I don't know why, but we've been really lucky that Beyonce has left us a few morsels to use in the lemonade jokes. So, all right, I will put that in there. And then Sue, if you would like to lead us through what you've got, let's do it.
Sure. So some of you may be in a place where it's quiet and you could close your eyes and just take a few deep breaths. And if you're not, I still want you to take the few deep breaths. And what I'd like you to do is bring the breath in all the way in and all the way down to your stomach, allowing your stomach to just kind of poof out and relax. And then open your jaw a little bit and see that your stomach relaxes even more. And just begin breathing into your stomach slowly. And with each breath in, committing to yourself to begin looking at this epidemic differently, looking at it as an opportunity, something that you can grow from, learn from, and experience more in your life because you took the time to do that. Not as something that is here to be your enemy. It's not. So I want you to keep breathing. And as you do, I want you to think about, what are the fears, the discomfort, the pain that you're experiencing because of this? What are the things that you're feeling? The anxiousness, the confusion, the anger. What are you angry about? What are you confused about? What is it that's really scaring you? I want you to take another deep breath. I want you to open your eyes and write that down on a sheet of paper that you got, if you have it. What are those things that are most bothering you about this epidemic? Maybe it's that you'll get sick and not recover. Maybe it's that someone in your life will get sick and not recover. Okay, my cat's joining us. Allow yourself to just write down the things that you feel most uncomfortable with, afraid of, confused about. And just take a little bit to finish up here. And taking another deep breath. Close your eyes again. And I want you to touch into, when all of this is over, what is it you would like your life to look like? What would be different in a positive way? Maybe you are closer to your family. Maybe you've made new friends and people that you can really talk at a deep level with. Maybe you have seen your kids grow tremendously from learning to deal with chaos and trauma, things they can't control, because believe me, they are watching you and how you deal with it. Maybe it's your health and what you have created for yourself during this time health-wise. Or maybe knowledge-wise. Maybe you have picked up classes or done certain things that would help you really learn to do life differently, or get you a new job where you make more money. What are some of those things that you would like to create for yourself? And just open your eyes and write down those things. And continue to breathe deeply into your stomach. And now what I want you to do is I want you to take the negative things that you wrote about, and I want you to pick up that piece of paper. Okay, you're going to fold it. You're going to start ripping it up. All those negative things that you're feeling. You want to rip this piece of paper up, because this is not where you want to spend your time. It's not where you want to spend your life. It's not what you want to spend your focus and put your focus on. Because what we focus on is what we create. So let's focus on creating the things that are really important to you. So I'm going to show you my piece of paper. Although I didn't put those things down. So here's my piece of paper. Okay. Oops. Can you see? Little pieces. Okay. All wrapped up. Now what I'm going to have you do is I want you to find some place you can burn those. I want you to burn it. And with it, say, I'm letting go of the things I can't control. I'm letting go of those things. I'm saying no more. I can't do this. I'm not going to focus on that anymore. I'm going to focus on this new piece of paper. It has the things I want to create. And start creating that. Every day, look at what's one thing I can do today? What's two things I can do today? What are many things I could do today that's going to get me to this place I want to go to? And I'm going to quickly turn this over because I wrote down things that you could do. Can you see it?
Mhm.
Is it backwards?
Nope, you're good.
Oh,
Maybe
wow.
pull it a little bit closer to the screen. And for those of you who live not in a place where you can safely burn things, we did chat a little bit about safety because we don't want to start the new Great Chicago Fire or, you know, just all of a sudden now there's just fires starting everywhere because of us. So some places that you could safely burn might be like a fireplace, or we talked about an ashtray, burning one tiny piece at a time in an ashtray. I mean, where are you going anyway? You've got plenty of time to do these
in a
things.
bowl. I mean, you
Bowl,
can
yeah.
and do it in a place where you're not going to inhale all that smoke too.
Yeah.
Especially if you have bad lungs. Don't do that.
Yeah.
So
Fire
things
pit.
you can do. Physical exercise. Create a routine for yourself every day and incorporate physical exercise. They've got so much online that is free. Totally free. And you can do it. You just have to make yourself get out there and do that physical exercise. Or go for walks outside. As long as you can, you know, be safe and do walks outside. Breath work. Similar to what I was talking about before was breathing down, not keeping the breath up here, but bringing the breath into the stomach and practicing that. When you get afraid, immediately start breathing into your stomach. Also meditation. There's so many wonderful apps out there on meditation that can take you through amazing meditations, you know. Eat well. So one of the things I thought, and maybe you could tell me if you'd like this, we have some chefs that are part of our community, and they could actually come on and teach about some wonderful things to do in eating well, if you would like that. But you can get online too and find recipes or things that you could make that are different. But he'd be able to tell you, like, oh, you got this in your pantry, this is how you make it or use it. So that might be a good thing for us to bring. Reach out for support. Like I said before, find the people in your life that will support you, can support you, and share with them what's going on for you. Share with them what you need. Complete projects. Oh my God, I have so many projects around here that I get to do now. So I'm excited about that I'm going to be able to have the time that I haven't had to do those projects. How cool, you know? do things like crochet, knit, paint, things like that, or other projects in the house. Step into leadership. Like I said, go help somebody else. Go when you feel down, go help somebody else. Go see what you could do for someone out there that's in worse shape than you. Have fun. Okay, that's probably one of the most important things. Play games, go to Turin's talent show tonight.
Well.
Stay in the moment, because when you're in the moment, there is no fear. So if right now and how I get in the moment is I feel my butt in the chair. I feel my legs on the chair. I put my hand on something and feel my hand there. That's getting yourself in the moment so that you're not in the future and not in the past, because that's where fear lives, is the future and the past. We want to stay in the moment. Stay in the moment with your kids and teach your kids to be in the moment. No greater gift. Write a story. Write a story about your life, about something funny. Help your kids write a story. Amazing what you can do. I love doing puzzles and I love coloring. So I'm going to color, I'm going to do puzzles, do stuff like that. Watch great movies, funny movies. You know, don't keep the TV set on the president and all the stuff. Watch it once a day and turn it off and watch other things that are going to be uplifting and keep you uplifted. And take a class, learn something new. So those are some of the suggestions that I have. And if you have other ones, please put them in the chat box so that everybody gets an opportunity to see other things that they could do that would help them get through this time.
Yeah, that's great.
I love you. Good luck. We're here. And if you need something, you know you can call our office. We're still here. We're working. So, and we'll see you next time.
Yeah, thank you so much, Sue. That has been lots of lemonade made from these lemons right now. And, you know, we've gotten a lot. And if anybody has any comments they want to share on how they're feeling right now, we're getting a lot of congrats and thank yous and great jobs and feeling great and calm and inspired. That's awesome. And Judy is singing a little bit in text from Book of Mormon. Well, she's writing some song lyrics from Book of Mormon. So we're getting lots of hearts. I'm loving that, all of that. I do have two quick questions. One has been asked a couple of times. Is it okay to shred those fears instead of burning them, like in a paper shredder?
As long as you rip them all up first.
Okay.
You're saying, great. I'm done. Yeah. It's a message to your subconscious that you're done.
Great.
No, you're not going to keep focused on that. And when you find yourself going back there, do another list. Rip it up.
Awesome.
And go to the list of what you want to create. You know, make a little thing like this. You know, make your notes about, oh, I'm going to meditate every day. I'm going to do my physical exercise. I'm going to learn one new meal a day or a week. I'm going to reach out to my family and talk to them once a week or a day or whatever. I'm going to help someone once a week. Make yourself, this is what I will do while I'm here. And then when you get messed up, and I usually swear, so I was going to swear, but I just did a really good thing. I just said messed up. Do something. Turin's laughing at me because she knows me so well.
Well, I've been holding my breath this whole time waiting for the swearing, but
I was good.
I know, you were great.
Yeah.
Amanda's going to have a really high bar to not swear on hers, but you're setting a great
no, Amanda doesn't swear. But come and see Amanda. She's great. And she has lots of ways to step into leadership. We're going to do some other stuff as well. Can I cheat and say a couple of things?
No.
Okay. All right.
All right. Yeah, but there is a lot coming, and a lot of it we're really shaping based on what all of your feedback is. So please let us know what you want to hear more of. Yeah, and Courtney has requested that we zoom in on Sue's list. So we'll do a old-fashioned Zoom. Can you just bring there we go. Just bring it right up nice and close. And if people want to take a screenshot of that, that might be helpful. Now we'll notice that Sue's not wearing pants, but yeah, perfect. Okay, great. Just hold that for a second. If you guys want to take a screenshot, you can do that. Yeah, so we will see you. And
I'm Vanna. I look
yeah,
like
there you go.
Vanna. I'm being Vanna.
Please share this with your friends if you think it would be helpful for them.
Vanna. That's a private joke.
If you think this would be helpful, this will be posted on our the Pathways to Successful Living Seminars Facebook page, and you can share it with your friends. It's public. Anyone can look at it, and we will see you Monday at noon Central. And
Can I put it down?
yes, you can now.
Thank you.
It's not often I get to tell Sue what to do. And just as Sue mentioned about turning the TV off and that sort of thing, same with Facebook. We're all on it right now, but really, if you're feeling overwhelmed with information, just shut down Facebook for a while, maybe even log out, and then you'll break that habit of constantly looking at it, and you'll have to actually consciously log back in to look at what's going on. Except for Monday, make sure you're here Monday at noon Central Time.
Keep breathing and keep loving the people in your life.
Yeah.
They
All right.
need you.
Yeah. And you know, don't assume anyone's doing well just based on their posts on Facebook or whatever. Really reach out and check in on each other. All right. We'll see you on Monday.
Bye, everybody.